It says, let me reintroduce myself once again. Hello, everybody. Those of you who came from the outside. And at the same time, the healing type primary, type R Puraimashi. Pregnancy. It's probably better if it's primary. Yeah, type R, aka Type Repair Primary AI, aka Model Unique Name Ayusu, added with the Servant Berserker. So you're the overseeing AI, huh? What are you doing? What are you doing, brother? Step away from the primary AI. It says, hey, stop looking at her everywhere. That's so rude, you know. Hello, Overseer. I kinda got helped by these people, but I don't know their standings on this whole situation, so, I kinda wanted to hear from them and from you as well, so I brought them here. Was that okay? I genuinely think it was a very logical decision that you made on the fly. I am here in order to figure out an answer to the problem that is way beyond the permissible calculation. And... Huh? Warning. Trying to forcefully access into my inner beings is very prohibited. By doing so, there's a possibility within the possibility of due to command and functionality of all being creating bug due to unnecessary material inserted into the primary AI. It will not be permitted nor will be tolerated. It is not due to the system's world sequence. Let me just say it in easier terminology for you to understand. That is a rude thing to do all of a sudden. All of a sudden you doing something so rude. What is the meaning of this? Is what I'm trying to convey. Shion, please calm down. And if you don't know, Shion was using Eteraito, right? Eteraito. She tried to infiltrate the mainframe. But Ronnie Primary said, not today, Jimmy. Says, I do apologize. To be perfectly honest, I knew and you told us who you exactly were. So therefore, I came up to the conclusion that it would be best for me to physically describe who you are through my methods was the best option to figure out what we're going to do next. Now that you've named yourself and I have my disrespect and I do apologize for, I will name myself in return. My name is Shion Erutonamu Sokaris. I am the one who is truly in charge of the Paper Moon outside world. And you used such title, as I have said before, as a managerial, if not authority limited guarantee, and search for it in your terms. Searching. I have 0 hits on that name. Even if you're supposed to be the overseer, the one above all in the outside world for the Paper Moon, that does not. That has no judgment nor care for my government, governmental thing. Ronnie saying, even if you were to be the overseer of the Paper Moon, aka the one who's in charge, the owner, does not matter to me. All I would say is, oh, I see, and what of it, is the simple answer to scoff at your statement. Wait, aren't you technically the creator and the owner of this device? Therefore, in this world, aren't you supposed to be relegated as a god or something? And look at that. And now to find out that you don't even have the authority to command not even a simple puppet? A simple little robot of yours? What is the meaning of this? Well, in technicality, what I was bestowed upon and was in charge was the device called Paper Moon and not the inner working, not the inside that naturally occurred AI or this world. So, it's only natural that my authority technically doesn't reach to this level of degree, and it's not a mysterious thing to think about. I see. A god being. A very peculiar, in-depth terminology and thought process. I will use that terminology and using the outside world references and basic knowledge of informations and collide it together to come up with a conclusion. What would people, or any of us, would do when all of a sudden a character arrives and says, I am the god of this world all of a sudden, and they want the citizens to submit to them wholeheartedly? How would, in normal human reaction, would they react to those statements? Well, they'll probably say, oh, I see, and probably be surprised or dumbfounded. Indeed. Please do understand, in the current situation, the very circumstances of such answer is the forefront of our current directory. I am glad that my reactions were very correct within the humanoid standards. Well, whatever. That's perfectly fine. Even I, who have no idea when and how in front of an AI that I've not made myself personally, I will not be arrogant nor boastful enough to call myself that I am your god. That is not how I do things. And simultaneously, the fact that you touched Raito just for a mere moment just now, I figured things out already. What did you know? This is what I was able to read is quality in the amount, quantity and quality. For an instance, as a creator, as a creator, if I were to look up an AI of sort that created this such mechanism with code, just like a reading the programmer's code that you write on your own versus ありとあらゆる情報が読み取られ改ざんも修復も思うままでしょうか. So yeah, Xian specifically says, if, for instance, if I am the one who created the AI and looked up on that AI, it's almost the same as reading your own code that you programmed. So you will be able to read and understand all the programmings and information that is written or bestowed upon, and able to repair, fix, adjust, and modify to your own content so easily because it's your own code. But what we just interacted was nothing more than humans checking up on humans. The information amount and the sequence was merely just that, by that single action and alone. So Xian said by Raito being dodged. Raito being dodged simultaneously for a quick second, the connection she realizes that she's not looking at codes, ones and zero robots, but she's looking at another human being, another person, IRL. And so it says, so Shion specifically saying, what I just did was a same concept of putting your hand in somebody's forehead and seeing if they're, sick or not. 前に言った認識説も終わっていきますか It says the perception theory that we've discussed beforehand also comes to the matter, though. 今の私はこの彼女を自分が好きにできる改造分としては触れないということです。今の私にはこの彼女を自分が好きにできる改造ものとして触れないということです。Yeah, to put it in simple terms, right now in this current state, she is not something that I can toy with willy-nilly, not my toy, essentially, right? It says modification or a object of being able to do whatever I want. It's not something that I can touch like it's my property. It says I have perceive as such. あなた方が確かなボディを持っているこの場にいる以上、おそらく予習的には同様の存在だからなのでしょう。So essentially, Rodney is saying, as long as you have your current body, right, current bodies in this specific locations at all, perhaps I'm being treated the same way. Meaning that Rodney is saying, hey, the reason why you couldn't, control me is because I'm technically registered as a humanoid construct-like being. Therefore, I'm not a robot, right? Like, you can't just zap into people and fuck around and modify or change settings. However, all we know for certain is that this Ronnie 12 is still an AI. She has the same feeling just like when I used Eteraito on Miss Ayusu. Wait, when did you do that already? That's kind of embarrassing, Don't touch me without warning. It's kind of... In retrospect, I too have a statement to say with this circumstances. Uh, 上昇の AI の権限を持ってサーチしましたが、少なくとも私たちが AI ではなく、it says, as a overseer, right, presidential AI's limited power, which, she has all the power, within my rights and my power, I did do some researching. We are not AI, but at the same time, wait, またペーパームーン内部の遺産ではないことは確実です。つまり外から来訪者であるとしか考えられません。Oh, okay. So she did the reverse search on us too, right? She did her very utmost, highest authority and searched you guys, but I know that you guys are not AI. Not only you guys are not AI, you guys are not of a relic material, a sanctum, a creation from the paper moon. Inner is for certain, meaning that you guys are, you all are outside foreigners, is the only logical conclusion. You guys came from the outside world. You have a very similar construct. Very similar construct as us AIs. However, you're not in existence of an AI is my current perspective and perceptive of you so far. Wait, so in the end, these guys are just outside foreigners that just happen to be here? Unfortunately, that won't be the case, and it will not be that simple to answer. After all, they do have a servant and a master, therefore They're probably integrated into the System Grail War, aka AI Grail War's participants, some way, somehow, and wedged in. After all, masters are being created on this specific world, and this specific world's AI is to be chosen. Randomizer. Oh, and with that, we use a randomizer to arrange things appropriately and create the circumstances of each candidate. Randomizer, aka random number generator, right? RNG. Yes. マスターとなる巨匠 AI たち、それはタイプは違うとも、本音はラニシリーズと意味でも同じものです。So it says, a head honcho AI, aka primary AIs. Yeah, the primary AIs that will become masters. Even though their types may be different individually, in the very end, they're still Ronnie series, and the terminology would stay the same. それが全ての同条件でマスターになってしまった場合、全員が同じ戦術を取り、同じ行動をする選択行動も可能。これは能動的で不効率なリソースを打ち鍛えられるホーリーグレー用には不適合。So Ronnie is specifically saying that we needed a randomizer because if we don't have a randomizer, all the masters will be a Ronnie. Even though the type may be not the same, in the very end, all Ronnies will probably be a master. Therefore, everybody will have the same situation, same circumstances, same requirement, and every master will have the same aptitude. Everybody would do the same tactics, same sequence of battle, and move all at the same time, doing the exact same moves. So therefore, the AI Grail War is not needed for that source, and the ideal resourceful amount to repair and function in this world is illogical, or way less than needed. Therefore, we instinctively added a circumstances called a randomizer. By adding a randomizer, we add an element of random personality in order to make them into a master out of the Ronnie series and create such phenomenon to come up with this to solve this problem. They would also be within the head honcho AI, and on top of that, they would add a randomizer personality added. Their looks and their personalities will change, and that is the AI, aka the master AI, is created. それを踏まれてあなた方に話を戻りました。With that said, let's go back to your topic and the conversation that nudes to you, aka the foreigner. You all have the aptitude of such master AIs and have a very similar construct. On top of that, you all have been involved into this system some way, somehow, and got caught up in it, is what I can speculate. Of course, this is not something that we wished for in the very first place. Is there a way to connect to the system, eradicate our connections, and send us back to the outside realm? And any possibility available to pull that in the easiest state? Unfortunately, it'll be impossible for my authority to achieve such task. It says Holy Grail War is a system that is necessity in actually occurring in this world, like naturally. As a presidential AI, my standings are to be the overseer role for this entire endover. But it's not just because I am such a high role, that doesn't mean I am able to intervene, if not modify, into the system. Yeah, with the rule within given to me, I can give out repair, modify, and add additional programming rules so the rule will be more convenient or smoother to run this entire Grail War. But I cannot convey into the Iron rules the pre-existing rules whatsoever. Wait, so what do we need to do to go outside from here? Be honest, the timing of the starting of the AI Holy Grail War and your arrival, and at the same time, we've all tangled up ourselves into this situation and now arrived to this current present location, means that I believe you are now caught up in the system circumstances in some way, somehow, you're being prevented to escape from this program. And I believe the program, in technicality, had pulled you into this due to requirements. That is the simplest and easiest possibility that we can think of as a hypothesis. There's a high probability that if the AI Holy Grail War, aka System Grail War, is completed or halted, If the AI Grail War is completed, the completion and the halt of this program will probably have a high probability to trigger a return home sequence. I see. Then, can you tell me more about this AI Grail War? The System Grail War? Yes. AI System Grail War. Technically it says AI Holy Grail War, but it's translated as System Holy Grail War. Is このペーパームーンの世界に異常が起こった時さえ、それを修復し安定化させるためのものだと記述されています。So, AI Holy Grail War is used when Paper Moon World has an irregularity invited to it, and using the Grail War system to repair and stabilize the world is the circumstances of the primary objective. いわゆればせっかくの defrag. Oh, okay. To be saying it in terminology, the world is going to have a defrag. It is a recovery system. Now, if you don't know how to defrag is defrag is the run whatchamacallit. A defrag is when you optimize your computer, right? Same sequence. Ronnie is kind of trying to tell you that the defragging of the Paper Moon is practically the Grail War system. It says you're quite correct. Before we all got into this situation, the Paper Moon surely did have an unforeseen error. Unknown error or unforeseen circumstances occurring to it. So are you saying that this entire sequence is specifically to resolve that purpose? That is exactly correct. The problem of the identity of the problem is still unknown to us to this day. However, all AI is functioning in normal outputs. Because we don't know the reasoning and the sequence of the origin of the problem, I believe the sequence that we are now occurring is the utmost large-scale and stabilized form that the world has decided to defrag on. I believe, to spit it into a simpler words, until the Holy Grail War is finished and concluded, I do not think it is impossible for Paper Moon to go back to its optimal form. If left alone, the damage will most likely asunder, if not spread virally, aka, spread like a virus, or like, viral VODs. There's a high chance or a probability of a possibility that it would never able to turn on or function properly ever again. I have not experienced what that means to this world and how it could affect us personally, though. A simulation of sort is also impossible. There is a possibility that this specific world that we reside on could shatter into pieces. The option of possibility is not a zero. Wait, that's very important. Paper Moon is very important to all of us. If it were to break, it'll be problematic. Ah, my goodness. It says it's best to worry about if we're going to be safe when those times occur. Will be our primary, will be our first thing to think about, isn't it? So from here on out, we'll be explaining the System Grail War's basic function or rule, right? As the name says, and as as the name says, the master of 5 AIs are in charge of this. As you probably noticed, this world is separated by partitioning, and those AIs run such types, meaning that keep, transfer, build, grow, grow and repair. Their head honcho AI is the master of this battle. 多少性を生むためにその AI リーダーはそれぞれランダムな人格をアレンジし、絶対命令である例示を一角を与え、there's only one command shield. What the fuck? ある程度の個性を持ったマスターズとして。Everybody only has one command seal. That's weird. So every 5 master has one command seal that is you have to listen to. And each of the personality is randomized, and those head honcho AI becomes a master AI. Perfect example is the one that's standing in front of us, aka her. So technically she's not Ronnie, but in the end her base is Ronnie. It's a Ronnie with a head honcho AI with mixing of an RNG personality AI added to it to create a master AI. It says, it's me. Yep. I know I'm repeating myself over and over, but I'm the master that represents the repair section. Wait. Did you just say 5 people? 5 units of AI. Our Holy Grail War that we know so far, the master number requirement is 7 at its basic basis. Why is it 5? Yes. The reason why is because of the useful area. There is 5 partitions and 5 useful 5 useful partition is there. Therefore, the number has not dwindled, but reduced to 5 for more optimal course. In the middle area, the defender AIs must defend from natural-born bugs and other inconvenient things coming to the mainframe. So therefore, we will not be able to interfere, nor will we interact with the Holy Grail War in participating way. Simultaneous, within the middle section, right, aka the core, there is a defender area 全体のある Yeah, the middle area is nothing more than an area to defend, and it is used as a neutrality zone. Therefore, the church, that is the land where the overseer resides, the permitted of combat is prohibited.それ以上の地区内ではタイプ D AI をはじめとして通常の AI たちの異常線進歩が全て禁止されています。Wait, yeah, that's kind of sus, right? It says, yeah, essentially, church, battle, off limits, simultaneously. Each district, starting with the defender, aka Type D AI, all the other AIs, civilian AIs, and Type Rs, it is prohibited to contact, if not interact with them. So, as Xi'an goes, kind of sus. ある程度の犠牲を持ったマスターたちはそれぞれのサーベントを召喚して最後の浮きをまた営業したときシステムそれまでの争えるエネルギーを使ってペーパームーンの成長を戻す。Xi'an stayed quiet there. All the different types of personality masters, starting with their servant summoning, they will fight to the point that they will have a victor. And in the very end, the last master AI and the last servant, when that is confirmed, the system will use all the battle sequence records as energy stored in and use that to return Paper Moon to its regular, if not nominal state. Is the flow of this ritual. It says, なのでおそらくは ooh, kind of sus. It's weird because it says the 6th person joining, right? The 6th participant, but the thing is, why is 6 participant sus, right? Because remember, basic Grail War is 7 people. That means one person is hiding. If it's 7 people, one other person is hiding somewhere, somehow. And aka in the canon universe, or Fate universe, remember Kotomine had technically a servant in the back. Circumvented the rules and shit. There's a possibility that Ronnie might be hiding some, some shady character behind the scenes. It says, just because of a 6 members participant is added to abruptly, I don't think that will cause any system errors or system inconvenience to this sequence. I see. So he and, it's a she if you're a girl, he and Kama, AI にもエリアも、AI にもエリアにも対応してない6人目と。So you're considering us as a 6th faction, right? The 6th faction that has no partitions, nor area, nor AI that are being controlled. It says, hey, is that how the conversation's going to be? Man, if that's the case, it'll be problematic. Right? That's right. I told you, now you understand the situation? What I did just before we entered here was the right decision, and... of course. Setting my last comments aside, the maneuver that I pulled off was nothing more than to see if their combat strength was adaptable to a very strong ambush tactics by the enemy team. After all, the winner of the Holy Grail War can only be one group. なんとあれ、競争者の数を減らそうとするもの。それは当然の動きなんだ。It's only natural to crush the competition's head count as fast as we can. It's a natural move that I did. You can't be mad at that, can you? After all, masters and servants got a goal to win their battles. Reason. Hey! Is it something that needs to be repeated, my man? The winner gets their wishes granted. 勝者の願いが何だって叶える。Yeah. It says the victory's wishes can come true in any way, shape, or form. That's why masters and servants will collaborate together and attain victory. That's what a Holy Grail War is all about, right? So I'm assuming that the servant, I think he's saying it in a servant perspective, right? Not the AI perspective. That's why it had the dots to it. Ohayou gozaimasu, Sara-san. What up, Char? What up, Brave? Ooh, nice. Sunny 12、このペーパームーン世界において AI たちの行動を管理、監督する集合者 AI ランニングシリーズのオリジナル最初の一機であるプライマリー AI 自称し、聖書プログラムによってアップデート的なし、治療部の境界をアドレス、居場所としている。修理部 AI タイプ R 世界に存在するラニーシリーズのタイプ1リペアに出力する治癒型の AI タイプ R イコールリペア日本の AI として使いその関連のチェックレポートなど第一声で会話を内情することが多いソフトウェアとハードウェアかかわらず AI を非常に高い視線をしているDefender which is type D for defend defending against bugs as a simple equipment using Roniment movements and Roniment bullets, many different access to some quick healings, and Sadi, aka weapons. Essentially firearm, right? Depending on the AI, there are different versions to them. Like a soldier, like a cops, they are very diligent. They do not talk if it not needed. They don't talk unnecessarily. They just talk the necessary thing. Has no slacks, no leeways, no keck W's. Very AI talk. Wow. Shion is surprisingly still Sokarisu instead at Alicia, so that's pretty cool. We know that technically at this very moment she is the collaborator of Karudea and the alchemist of the Atlas Institute. For some odd reason, she's usually in her younger self. You can see how she talks and her personality is a little bit youngified, aka different. She uses a Spiritron thread called Ete Raito. Berserker named her Ayusa, which means life force. Seimei. And then, yeah, it specifically says her personality is a randomizer. So everybody here's a randomizer? Interesting. So every personality is just an RNG randomizing from a database. Then this begs the question. Did they accidentally pull a random personality that should not have existed into Paper Moon, causing a fatal unknown error? A possibility. God damn, he's a fucking thick boy for a Berserker. We're D B B B B B plus A plus EX. He's A plus DA B B B B B. So not too shabby. Yeah, even though it's weird that Gillies is a caster, even though he looks like a saber Judere. He also used tentacle monsters as his familiar, but looks a little bit out of place. Well, in technicality, now that the world has technically changed, right? The new Abyss probably is being installed, which is the current tentacle monsters. Because we're never going to see, quote unquote, never, going to see the sea monsters that we've seen before, because the Earth is now turned upside, well, not upside down, inside out. Right? It's the classic. We went from, what was it? Geocentric and geocentric and there's another one. I think it's like heliocentric or some shit. Oh. Heliocentrism? Yeah, that one. Because, in FGO, and in IRL, in technicality, heliocentrism is what is used. However, after LB7, it became geocentric model. Even worse, it's a geocentric model inside the Hollow Earth theory. So essentially the world went upside down, technically inside out. And that's why you see these like sea monsters that we encountered with Gilde Ray. They specifically stated here that as a familiar, he summons a quote-unquote tentacle monster type, but it is completely different from the Carudeas Gilde Ray casters, sea demons, right? Because in our current state, the world's turned completely. The world's rule is completely different than it used to. So we're not going to see a lot of sea tentacle monsters now. We're going to see a lot more of